Yeah. What's going on, friends? This is MC Till with everybody's hip-hop label. Man, it's going to be a good night tonight. We have a legend in the building. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Before we introduce our guest, I do want to say, if you're in Cincinnati or you're going to come visit us, make sure you check out Everybody's Records. And if you can't get here, everybody'srecords.com and check them out, support them. They're always supporting the local hip-hop scene, so we want to give back. Also, we're doing all kinds of stuff. We got the podcast, we got books, we got all kinds of good music coming out. So you can check out all of that at everybody'shiphop.com. So make sure you check that out, please, and thank you. In the room, before we introduce our guests, lurking in the background, you can't see him, but he's always with us. We have our good friend Neville is here with us. We also have IOMOS. What's up, IOMOS?
Peace, peace.
Peace. And we have Profound in the building.
What's up? What's good, Till? What's up, IO?
And what you all been waiting for, we have a legendary guest. We're going to have so much fun with this conversation tonight. In the Boom Bap Chat, we have...
Better bow slow. This rhyme will go hit him real quick because I'm K Solo.
Yes, give it up for K Solo, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up, give it up.
Thanks for having me. Boom Bap Chat.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for taking, some time out of your day, out of your evening to be with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Till.
Yeah, man. One thing we do on the Boom Bap Chat is we like to give flowers, man. We appreciate our guests. We don't invite people on here we don't appreciate. So we appreciate all of our guests. And so we want to give you some flowers. So I'm going to pass it over to Profound.
Thank you.
Man, bro, what we want to do is I've known you. I first met you, man, in Chicago in 1999, man. And actually, man, it was a dream. I would have never thought that I would have got an opportunity to break bread with a brother and then get props from a brother. Coming at me and upcoming and getting pops from you as a legend, man. And I've just watched you from the beginning and throughout your whole career. And I know behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? I look at it now. I've known you 20 something years, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've known you over 20 something years, man. And it's like, I've seen you still just keep on doing and keeping on. So we like to give people their flowers while they're here. You a big brother, you the big homie, and we know we working together. So we might as well release that right now to the world too. So big ups and big props to you, K Solo, man.
Thank you so much, Profound. One of the Spartan Academy soldiers that we coming through with. Yo, and yeah, he's right. He has been around Sinatra and Black Floyd for a long time. And it just flew, he was here, and I was like, you know what? It just made sense, and his bars is crazy.
you know,
and that's what it's all about, man. Like in this hip hop game, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about going through the struggle that we go through together. Because without a struggle, I couldn't rap. I don't think I would have ever wrote "Tell the World My Name" if I didn't get locked up and had time to sit down and just reflect on my whole life. So yeah. And I met some real solid people, Some people couldn't get it together. I want to shout out to my boy Israel Moore. He's in Sing Sing right now, innocent, but he's in jail. Things happen, I want to give a shout out to him. Hold your head up. We're still working on the court defense for you. Like I'm saying, we're still out here doing our work. We're still out here, running into the people that we met years ago that still got caught up, and we still have a ray of hope for them, and we're still, trying to do something great, that's what hip hop is, man. It is a world inside a world, and we all work together to make it a better world for everybody.
Word.
Man, that phrase, world inside of a world, that's an interesting phrase right there. I'm gonna meditate on that one. So every Monday, you feeling that, IOMOS?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to think about that. I'll probably come back to that. But okay, so I gotta tell you, about Monday, we release who our guest in the Boom Bap Chat is gonna be. And I always ask, what should we ask, our guests? And, we've had Drez and we've had Billy Dance from MOP. We've had some very interesting artists that have done a lot of things with their lives. But you garnered the most questions of any guest that we've had so far. Lots of people are very interested to know a lot of things about you. So I'm really excited to have you on tonight and want to ask just a slew of questions from folks, that asked a bunch of questions. And you talked about, you know, a world inside of a world, and, you know, going through, you know, pain and, you know, going through things. You wouldn't have anything to write about if you didn't go through things. And someone had asked about that song, The Fugitive, and I want to start there. They asked, was that based on a true story? Was that your true story, that song, The Fugitive?
Yeah. So when I was training as a boxer first, and I could rap because I grew up in the neighborhood, but I never wrote rhymes. I grew up with Biz Mark. And I was very young, and Biz Mark was on the mic, and I would be on the mic with him. And my best friend is a guy by the name of Ralph Mann, who's a 7-time boxing champion. So at one time, I was at a club called The Taste of Honey. It's in our neighborhood, real violent place. I remember I just wanted to be accepted, and one of the guys from the street was like, "Yo, knock this guy out," and I hit him. Pow! Broke his jaw in 3 places, but I didn't realize the guy went to school with me. I didn't, just trying to fit in. And Ralph Mann saw that, and he was like, "Yo, man, that wasn't cool." And I was like, "But that's your gang member." I thought I was accepted, and, you know, come to find out, he thought I was a jerk. He was like, "I see you got punching power, but that wasn't cool." And I then hung around him, and then, you know, next thing you know, the cops came to the school and arrested me. And then when they arrested me, I only had a shorter time to graduate. I didn't even know why I did it. I was a good kid. You know, I wasn't asked training yet, but I had that aggression still. I was trying to find my place in tomorrow with no help. You know, I had a couple of my mother's people, you know, uncles and them were trying to help me, but, you know, trying to find myself. I want to be accepted by the wrong crowd. Just too young. And thank God Ralph saw it, and he grabbed me, you know. So I knew him since 2nd grade, but then at 14, I started hanging with him close. And then when I bailed, I got locked up and got out, didn't want to go, and then I ran, you know, I ran to Brooklyn. I ran to Brownsville. I lived in Brownsville with the guy that knocked Suge out, his family. Didn't know that he would even be in the rap game at the time, nor did I know. I was living with him, his name is Big Ja, his father, I was living with them in Brownsville. Because he had little brothers named Sean Cooper, Wayne Cooper, and Keedy, and I was their brother too. So when I was leaving Long Island, I asked Sean Cooper, I said, can I, you know, I don't want to go to jail, so my best solution was to go with you, because your family's going to move. He said, let me ask my mom. So Barbara, God bless, you know, Barbara Cooper, she let me move in with them. So I was on a run, and I lived with them, and in Brownsville, and I was writing my music. And I started working at a place called Starlight Discount. And then, long story short, cops locked me up again. I got caught. Went out to Long Island to see my ex-girlfriend, who I thought was pregnant, and she wasn't my child. Anyway, still went out and got locked up. Now I'm doing 16 months. And then I wrote for the first time. It's like a blessing in the sky. I got a chance to actually write. And I had most of Spellbound writ in Brownsville, and then after I got out of jail, it was done. And Parrish heard me, and the next thing was history.
Wow. Wow.
But it was a true story, because I was mad at not having the money, and the girl was cheating. I saw some biker, he said the wrong word. I didn't know I wasn't a nigger. I thought that nigger word was just sent me, and then my mother told me when I was on TV, she said, well, you're not really a nigger. I didn't realize that. Because I heard the word so much, I actually think, well, you're trying to be funny. And then when I sat down and did the time, I realized that I wasn't a nigger. And then I started thinking, reading a lot of books, and, you know, and it just worked out for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I used the time wisely. Main subject was, the main answer to that was I used it wisely. I didn't just sit down, watch the boxing career go out the window, go down. And then I didn't do that. I wrote. And all of that stuff was in my mind, and it came out. And then I saw Parrish, and then I got signed.
Wow.
That's a dope story.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm here. Am I hearing kids in the background? We love kids on the Boom Bap Chat. Are those your kids?
You hear my baby in the background? She's singing harder than me right now. I
thought I heard some kids. I was gonna say it's all good.
Yes, it's just one. It's just one.
It's just one. Okay, gotcha.
Oh.
We love kids. Profound, man. Go ahead.
That was a real and then I met some other people behind the walls. So what I want to say too about jail. My first time being locked up, I met a guy named Chris Addison, sung like Luther Vandross. Hopefully we get a chance to hear him one day. And like I said, my other guy that's still in jail now, for a crime and wine dance that, you know, somebody hit him in the head and he fought back, and now he went to trial and blew trial. But he's a good guy. But like I said, I met a lot of great people in there.
Yeah.
You know how people always say, people say it like, oh, you know, everybody in jail didn't do it. That's not the case. Some things, you know, some people, you know, I'm not saying, because in my case, I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Never said I didn't do it. I wasn't innocent. I just did it. I didn't think that, you know, say it was as bad as it was, but it was.
Yeah.
You know, when you're, you know, trained, you know, to handle your business and you handle it, or somebody that really doesn't understand it, it just got out of hand. It was bad. And like I said, I learned my lesson too. I also learned that everybody that looks like me ain't a nigger. You know, that word was it meant ignorant individual, and it had nothing to do with culture.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that till after I did time, because I see more white niggas in the street than I see dark-skinned black niggas. I see more, it's like anybody to me could be that, you know, and I don't have an issue with the word now. I did, it has no power to me no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that power, because I think that eventually when the world grows up and gets past that, there's not gonna be no power in the word. You know what I'm saying? Because it could mean anything. It could mean anybody. It means ignorant. It has nothing to do with a culture. If you look at culture, right? I went to the Chinese bathhouse and they're rubbing my back and they're doing all that, right? And then some guys got a happy ending and we had to stop him because he was ready to have sex with a lady. He didn't know. See? Culture. He didn't know. There was a happy ending at the end of the massage. He was trying to have sex with her. We had to run in there and stop him.
Wow.
Did you get it?
These guys crazy.
Like
That's crazy. Come on, man.
No, I'm saying we had to run in the room because he didn't know. He didn't go. We took him from the street. He gets a massage. And then when the lady gave him the happy, he didn't understand it. We had to stop. Like, what are you doing? I thought she liked me. I said, no, it's part of the massage. So what I mean by that is cultures are different and cultures are beautiful, right? You're gonna, and cultures have no issues to them. Think about it. There's no politics in a culture as far as against another culture. You know, when you eat Japanese food, they don't care who you are. Just come and eat your food, and you share their culture, right? And to be a Japanese samurai, you have to have some black in you. So all of these things of culture have nothing to do with being ignorant. Culture, bad culture means, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Culture is culture. But ignorant, when you're dealing with the word ignorant, it can apply anywhere. And that's where the N-I-G-G-E-R belongs, in that aspect. Then there's no bad scenario to it.
I always think about all that.
I had to go to jail first.
Right.
Thank you.
IO, you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, as far as, I agree with what he's saying as far as like with culture. But I'm still processing. Hip hop is a world inside of the world. Like that's a powerful statement right there. I never viewed hip hop in that way. Hip hop is a world.
Because how would Snoop Dogg get a
world.
house? Yeah, think about how would Snoop and Dr. Dre buy houses with their mothers that didn't have to hip hop. Like when you really look at when you look at everything, like when Martin Luther King and them were marching for freedom, there was Jewish people on the line for them too. When the freedom fighters went to Mobile, Alabama, and they got shot and they got killed, right? There was a Jewish guy, there was a black dude, they were all together. I don't ever single people in now. I always single things separately because I don't know what, like when I had an Italian trainer, I said something about Joe Louis and I got flipped on. I didn't even realize, because I'm thinking I'm black. I can say what I want about Joe Louis. They're Italian. No. I didn't realize that. You know, I got kicked out the gym for 7 months. I had to write an essay on Joe Louis. I had to know exactly who this guy was, what he stood for. He wasn't a color to them.
Wow.
He was like a god to them. And I can say anything I want about Rocky Marciano. God bless the dead. It was okay. But Joe Louis? You couldn't say nothing about Joe Louis in Guy Gunter's house. And he was a little Italian man. He cried. I never saw his hair messy until I said something about Joe Louis.
Wow.
So I understood. Yeah, so I got a history lesson in race relations off of that. When me and Mike Tyson sit down, it's like, it's a totally different conversation because it's two pugilists who were amateurs together. And then when I made it as a rapper, he was like, "Oh my God, I had no idea you could rap like that." And I was like, "Yeah." You know, but you know, thank God I had two things that I could go to. thank God, I always thank Paris, for helping me find my place into tomorrow, because when I was going to turn pro in boxing and I started looking at politics, hip hop was for me. I'll tell you why. I saw Ali lose at 42, mustache, Larry Holmes. I saw Joe Louis get crushed by Rocky Marciano at 38. I saw Sugar Ray Robinson, who's the greatest pound for pound fighter of all time, wind up in the nursing home. I didn't want to go.
Wow.
Oh, we're having some
You
technical
know, why would
difficulties.
I,
There we go.
I said, why would I do that? Why would I stay into a sport?
It's muted again on UK Solo. Having a few technical difficulties here on the Boom Bap Chat.
There you
go. Okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, and hip hop was being that. I don't know. I think your mother blowing the phone up. I think that hip hop was perfect for me in that aspect. Yeah, my girl, her mother's, my girl, she's from my hood, so her mother's like. But so yeah, I got a chance to know that hip hop, and even my trainer said it too. He was like, he cried his wife there. Was like, we're gonna lose a great fighter, but he knows what he's doing, and I'm still here. I'm still have my faculties in order. I still sharp. I can see it coming. Like I could read different things that people don't like from a boxing standpoint. I could read body language. I could see all kind of things coming my way that I don't even understand. That you wouldn't see if you didn't know what you know. But I can see things because I see how things move now, because I pay attention to everything, moving, and the hip hop is a lot, reason for that, because, like I told you, it's one world inside of a world. Yeah. We this world right here, it speaks for us. It speaks for us to the point where we come out with our money and then we can live in the other world.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, K, man, so EPMD, like, what can you describe learning or going on tour as a young MC with like somebody like an EPMD and whoever else? I'm sure you went on tour with all of the big names, and what you was able to pull out of that you still use today.
Well, it's like what we're doing right now. It's like when I seen Paris at the barbershop and I was fresh out of jail, and he heard me rhyme, and the next thing you know, I got my first ride in the limo with him and Eric. We went from New York to Philadelphia. Was our first show, and I remember when I walked on that stage, what I felt, and I saw it in people, and I saw it was like I said, it was like a world in a world, and they had it on Smash. So the difference with them having it on Smash was the key, because EPMD was so young. And I remember growing up in the hood with Parrish, his brother, and he had a group called Rock Squad. I didn't make the group because something happened in my town with his town, and I didn't want to tell on the guys, and his brother just kicked me out the group. But thank God I wasn't ready for it at that time. I was too young. Me and Ricky Kittles was in the Rock Squad. Dr. Ricky Kittles is a scientist that helps you find African ancestry. He's one of my childhood friends. He's a professor now and a scientist for genealogy. He was the DJ along with Parrish in the Rock Squad. But we got kicked to the curb, and then Parrish stayed with the group. And then Parrish, when he made it, and I was locked up, and he seen me again, he put me back on. You know what I'm saying? It was like me and Parrish left off as little kids, and then when we were like teenagers, we linked back up. Parrish was on the way to becoming a football star, as me a boxer. So we come from a contact sports, and we both knew each other for a long time as kids. In fact, we was at the Roxy's in the 80s with his brother's group, and we opened up for Soul Sonic Force. And that's the night Double Trouble gave Parrish the 12 inches for Double Trouble on the Wild Style album soundtrack. Wow. Because he was dating Parrish's sister. So we got a chance. Yeah, we were around the Roxy's and all of that stuff at early age. We weren't even old enough to get in the club. We were around all of that. And Parrish's brother was grooming me and Parrish when we were little kids anyway. But Parrish always had the better ideas than James. Like he would always say, let's use this record. Like that 7 Minutes of Funk record, It's My Thing. He wanted to use that way back when. And the brother, he was like, nah. And then so Parrish used all of the ideas and stuff that he wanted to use, he came into fruition, it blew up, you know what I'm saying? And I was always, and the funny thing about me and Parrish, even before it was EPMD, was always me and Parrish. Like we were friends. We were little kids.
Yeah.
So it was ironic how he would come back and get me and say, you know what? You got it done. And then I went in on that level. And it was kind of, I always got to thank him too, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to become K Solo without the platform that he had already built with EPMD.
Yeah. Right.
You know, one thing I always wondered about EPMD, and I've heard conflicting stories, is do you know who did like the bulk of the production on those early EPMD albums? Was it more Eric Sermon or was it more Parrish? Or did they do it together?
No. It was Parrish. Here's the thing about this. It was a secret about them. Parrish nailed them first two. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, second one, Parrish nailed that first one. Then Eric came back on the second one with So What You Saying and all that. Then here's the thing about them. If they're both up, I was describing to Red. EPMD's like grizzly bears. If they both get up and they do their thing together, nobody will be able to get in the room. It's just because Parrish got that B-boy. Parrish is a B-boy. Musically, it's like, you know, you can hear boom, 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 boom. That's B-boy.
Right.
B-boys came from New York, not LA. LA was known for popping. I mean, the locking.
Right.
B-boy was the before break dancing. It was called B-boy. It wasn't called breakdance. It was called B-boy, and they were the rappers too. So, Echo Chamber, Cone Hats, British Walkers. This is what we were about. This is what me, Rakim, LL, all of us had that in our blood. It was in our DNA. Parrish, all of us had that in our DNA. We were all B-boys first. Sheepskins, Adidas, British Walkers, Playboys, AJ Pants, Ice Cube. If you didn't have that with a V-neck sweater, you wasn't in hip hop. You wasn't. It wasn't even called hip hop then. If you didn't have that uniform, you wasn't getting on the mic or nothing. If you didn't know how to rhyme on the echo chamber, you wasn't getting on the mic in them days.
Wow.
Derwin Breakout in them, like the DJs like Derwin Breakout in them, it was like 1 1 1 2, and the only rapper that still has that style to this day is Greg Nice. And that's why I always see Greg Nice. I'd be like, woo. Greg Nice is the original. He was raised by those originals. So you can hear it in the style. 1 1 2 2. As long as you a man inside, the man's inside. That's that throwback. When you hear that from New York, you know how authentic that is. Like you don't get that nowhere. Where else do you get that? Those type of breaks that will come on the record. Biz Mark went to every hood. He's from our hood. He went from every hood and landed in the Juice Crew where he got on. Biz Mark lost a battle beatboxing with Greg Nice years ago.
Wow.
Jesse West, the great Jesse West, was in a contest with Rakim and Jesse West won.
Over Rakim?
Over Rakim, before Rakim was on record.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of things that people don't know about our culture. Because before there was a culture, before it was hip hop, before it was called hip hop, we were little kids dolled in and pushed in to be this.
Right.
We really didn't have a choice. We were chosen more than we thinking that we would, trying to make a decision for ourselves. We were chosen. People put us on the mic.
We had a conversation in the Boom Bap Chat many months ago, and the question came up of, can you pimp, can someone, some documentarian, someone that lived it such as yourself, can someone pinpoint the birthday of hip hop? You have any thoughts on that?
I can't say that I can say the year though. I could say the year and month, okay? It would be the month that the Personality Jock came out. It was a record by Fatback Band and a rapper by the name of King Tim III, who who had that. I mean, King Tim III was just, but he stole it from Hollywood. Nobody knew that. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, we love hearing
He
these
took
stories.
it from Hollywood. Yeah.
Wait, is that the
Yeah, took him-
Hollywood from? That's the Hollywood from you know, the
Hold on, let me
hip
get my charger.
hibbity, that Hollywood, right? That Hollywood.
He said
Oh,
he grabbing
he's
his
gonna
charger.
get it. He's
Okay.
got something, an artifact, proof.
I think he said he was getting the charger.
Oh,
Yeah.
or he's just getting a charger.
Take the hip hop.
Say it again. Yeah, hip hop.
Yeah, that's right.
It was that guy Hollywood that he took it from, and then Hollywood didn't say nothing when he got on TV and did it. Hollywood didn't say nothing, but yeah, that was Hollywood's skit before it was King Tim III. King Tim III just made the record with Fatback and came out. And then 4 weeks after that, Sugar Hill dropped, and it had massive push behind it, and it became supposedly first hip hop record, but it wasn't. It was because the first time we give me all this. No, Spurters blow. But King Tim III was I'm King Tim, doing it all just for you. Put your bass in your face, and we was like, oh no, it just changed the whole game. And then the buzz was in there, and then Sugar Hill came, and all the Jewish record labels were thinking, they were like, oh, it's not gonna last.
Doing the Matrix.
Yeah, K Solo. If you're okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to turn your screen off for a minute so that might be able to help us hear you a little better. There you go. Okay, cool. Are you still with us, K Solo? Still there? Uh-oh. I think we've
He's
last.
muted.
Wait, no, yeah.
He just muted.
You're muted, K Solo. Hopefully we can get him back. I love hearing these hip hop stories.
I know,
man, right?
That's the first time I heard that, because I heard that Sugar Hill Gang got their rhymes from the Cold Crush Brothers.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
It's a little choppy.
It's still choppy though.
I don't know why. I should be. Let me see. How I felt better?
Yeah, you sound better. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
It was Hollywood's rhyme that King Tim III happened to get.
Okay.
And that happened with, and you know who else that happened with? Huh?
Who's that?
You know who else that happened with? That happened with Grandmaster Caz and Sugar Hill Gang.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Grandmaster Caz.
It was Master Caz to him. He told, but he didn't know he was going to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't know he was going to like that, and kind of, how it goes, man. That's great.
Let's see. Yeah, you're jumping in and out of the matrix, as Profound said. We'll try again. We might have to reboot somehow. But I wanted to jump around a little bit, K Solo. We've been talking about, early hip hop stories. And as you were talking earlier about Parrish and Eric Sermon and how they're Grizzlies, I want to jump up to what's happening here on Facebook. Jason Ansell, I think said Road Warrior is the next Grizzly coming, but we got 50 Wolves behind us. Can you speak to that comment?
Yeah, we all met in Full Sail, and all of these alumni guys from Full Sail just started, they were like, you know what? And then one of them got killed. He started cleaning his gun for his grandmother on Christmas Eve, and he shot himself in his face. And so our brother Mike Capuccio, he's no longer with us, but he's with us in the spirit. So Travis, Jason, and myself, and and Terry Mills, everybody just was like, let's just do what we got to do, And Profound was here. Everybody was here. So it was like, okay, let's start building. And we started building. And yeah, so the young kids, the young version is Road Warriors, and then the older ones on Waste Management Incorporated is a lot of wolves on there too. Spartan Academy's coming out of there, and the Brand Gang's coming off of and the Safe House is coming off of Road Warriors. It's two crews over there so far. Yeah, outlet for them. It's a great situation for everybody that's involved. It started in house, and the media moguls marketing team is behind everything. And shout out to Rob Stone and Cornerstone. You know, if it gets crazy, you know, they're gonna pull us in another direction. Phil Thorne, he was out of Rochester institution. He's the only guy that didn't go to Full Sail. He's the president, and everybody just went to work, man. We also got a school that we teach kids how to work the equipment, read music and you know, music stuff, and how to write songs. It's called the Academy Music Lab. It's in Palm Beach, Florida. And you know what I'm saying? We're just trying to give back to the community that we took something from. We got a lot of love from our community, and we just want to make sure that people need us. We're here to help them. You know, we're here to help them, and we're here to do the thing that was done for us. Because like I said, when I got in the situation, EPMD there was for me. I had a bunk. I got paid every time. You know what I'm saying? I built a career off of the relationship, and I want to do the same thing for somebody else.
Yo, that's
dope. So K Solo, man, you know, one of the questions we get, man, is this is a big question, and I actually thought I knew this answer, and until I found out. So, are you and Redman related? Is Redman your brother?
No, Reggie's not related to me at all. It's just, you know, what's different about me and Reggie is that we're probably closer than family though, because the things that me and him been through. I remember when me and Redman was at the Apollo watching the Rap Mania, and we were watching L, we were watching EPMD, watching everybody on stage, and I looked at each other and I was like, yo, we gotta really, you know, and he was like, yeah. And then, you know, Reggie was a great student too, man. Like you bring Redman to the studio, you know, you put a beat on. He didn't have what I had, and I didn't have what he had. Reggie was more of a pen to pad guy. I was more put the beat on, let me just run my mouth and I'll find it. And we experienced that. And then Reggie, you know, it was a great at what he did. And then I remember one time when Eric's house had got shot up, and you know, we really wouldn't know what happened or how it happened. I just know they kicked him out. They was like, get out. And they didn't say get out, but it was like, you got to get in your own place. We don't know if you did this. And I gave him my apartment. And my child was being born. We needed a place, but I gave it to him. And then funny that when I gave him the keys to the Bomb V2, his deal came right in. He was able to pay the rent and everything. Everything happened perfectly. Only difference with Crazy Redman, he tried to buy a snake. And I was like, what are you going to do with the snake? And he was like, well, you got dogs. Yeah, he bought a snake. The first time he got his money, he bought a snake, and he let the snake go in the apartment, and it got caught in the heat and burnt up.
The snake got burnt up? Dang.
And then one time, check this out. This is another story. Reggie got the best stories. I'm driving the Pathfinder on 495, and I'm coming off, and I see his car pulled over. I didn't know why, right? Cops out there and everything. He's changing Hurricane Glory and Erica's baby with clothespins in his mouth. You know, the needle pins, the old ones. He's changing the baby. Yo, I can't make this up. He's changing the baby, blunt in the ashtray, music playing, and the cops let him go. I was like, yo, and I think the tire was flat. That guy he was serious, bro. I knew he was gonna make it.
Yo, my kids are, you know, as many kids are, fascinated with, you know, money and cars and big houses and stuff. I let them watch the Redman episode of MTV Cribs.
Yeah,
and they got a kick out of that.
He's definitely serious.
What was your musical relationship with with Redman?
It was good. Like you know, we're born on the same day, so sometimes we bang heads. they were both born on the same day. And then when people, that's where the brother stuff comes in. Because every time he had a birthday, I'd be cutting the cake, and everybody was like, "Y'all gotta be brothers." And then we was gonna tell them, "No, we're brothers," and and then it grew. But they're not blood related. But his mother looks like my sister's twin.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah, if you see his mother's picture with my sister, you'd be like, "No way." I'd fool you. I'd get everybody's money all day. I put his sister in the room, and I put them two in the room and say, "Who's related?" They get it wrong every time. Trust me.
I had a question come in from on Facebook from Christopher Bryan. This is my favorite question yet. His question is that girl's mom still in your business?
Yeah, you know, that's funny. That's funny because they're gonna still be. They still like that.
Was that based on a true story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Man, I heard you,
because you're in jail. You get a chance to you get a chance to reflect. You can come up with a lot of things. A lot of people don't realize the things that go past your eyes. When you sit down, you can focus on them, and there's hit records in them. If you think about it, the experiences we live, everybody can relate to. Them are records.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The experiences. And the woman wants to know what the mother was. She really said this. She's eating fish, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh shit!" And she's asking me all these questions, and I'm not going to divulge the information because I'm raised, by my mother and my father. We're telling people, all right, cool. So when it happened, I just rewrote everything that happened, and it went and it fit perfect. And then the business title went with the EP&D business slogan. Everything just fit. I couldn't ask for a better scenario.
Yeah, that's dope. Someone just asked, Toussaint L. Hill asked, do you and Redman still chat? What's your relationship like now?
Yeah, I was just on the phone with Redman yesterday. I gotta go to the versus battle with him versus Method Man and Shaolin on April 20th. So yeah, I'll be there. I'm always we going? Yeah, we going.
If I was a betting man, I would say you're putting your money on Redman. Would that be correct?
Yeah, but Method. But let me just say this too about Cliff. I love Clifford, man. I love his professionalism. I love his I love both of these guys, man. These are some solid guys that really take hip hop serious. And I'm happy to be in the house tonight. And I respect their work ethic. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy. You know what I'm saying? I think Redman's solid. Of course, I think Redman, he's built like I would hate to go against, but it's going to be a great night, man.
It's going to be
Method
fun.
Man, like I said, he got all I need. He's got some great songs too.
He does.
Yeah, Meth got some joints, Joe.
It could go either way.
Meth got some joints.
I'm riding with Reggie. I'm riding with Reggie.
A lot of people riding with Reggie too.
I mean, if I had to put money on it.
I mean, I got the Woo poster, but I'm riding with Reggie on this one, though.
I'm the only one in the crew saying Method Man. So
okay.
Neville speaks.
I love Redman stuff, but
all I got to say,
the popularity.
All I got to say is doom dum dum the doom dum ding, extremely wild like the hair on Don King. That's all I got to say, bro. Reggie, bro.
Hey, also on Facebook, our good friend Jamie Bennett, who runs Underground Hip Hop Only. He's asking if you plan on going on tour anytime in the future. He'd love to see you. He's in Philly.
Go and tell him, okay?
Yeah, so we're gonna drop this they'll be helped to pay double jump, and then we're gonna hit the road. We got a whole team we gotta come with, man. The Spartan Academy is gonna be out there, man, and these are boom bap professionals, man, that I'm bringing to the table. Which I took me a minute to do this though, and my mother said, she said, everything that takes time is always going to be a bigger scenario, and I said, well, what do you mean? She said, how long does it take an oak tree to grow? I said, about 100,000 years. She said, exactly. So it took me a minute to get it popping with my boys, but all of them was talented, and I'm dealing with a lot of personalities, but we finally figured a way to do it, me and Pro, and Sinatra and Floyd and Boondini, everybody figured it out. And our thing is this: we're gonna come with the album first, us, and then everybody do their thing. You know what I'm saying? My stuff has been me and Profound have been crafting my stuff for the last couple of months. Just hearing the music, man. We lyrically we know what to do. It's just we want to make sure that music is sonically correct before we and this is just me and him. There's no Sam, there's no Scratch right now, there's no Greenland. It's just me and Pro just figuring out because we the landscape, and then everybody else will play their part too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but we're gonna hit it. The stage has been set. We're definitely gonna hit it. Listen out for Panama Red too, man. That's my god sister. She coming out too. Fire, bro. Out the Bronx. I mean, fire, bro. Fire, bro.
Well, if you get anywhere near Philly, Jamie Bennett will be there. He said, I'll be there for that tour for sure. So listening to you talk about new ventures. So is there a K solo album in the mix?
Yeah. That's what me and Pro working on right now.
Right. Oh, Profound, are you producing on it?
Yeah, that's what he's telling you. That's what we said.
Wow.
I could totally see that. Pro
is it
nice.
Is it one?
Be quiet, man.
Is
it all Profound beats?
Nah, there's a whole bunch of us. But you know what's ill about?
Gotcha.
But you know what's ill about me and Pro is like but like that Chicago, that black exploitation stuff that we're known to do. Like we do that like second nature. We did it for Snoop when Snoop came out. When Snoop did, Sam Snead did a lot of the intros and outros for Snoop Doggy Style, and we gave them the same platform of black exploitation. I'm not saying we're gonna actually delve and jest into that, but we touch on that, and then we do our boom bap, our b-boy hardcore, and then we got our message stuff that we went through too. That we got 3 or 4 things that we do that makes up our sound.
Yeah.
You know
Man, I'm excited, and a lot of people ask me that question. Ask K Solo if he has new music, and someone else asked from I think his name's Vaso, maybe Vaso. He wanted to know, what happened after Time's Up as far as musical content. Did you just say, you know what, I need to step away from music? Was there industry stuff going on?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So what was happening at the time?
So, okay, I went to Death Row and I wanted to see how it worked out there. Because the stuff was getting crazy in the Hit Squad. Eric and Parrish, they were going to split and just take a 5. And then Redman stayed. I went to Death Row, worked on Snoop, brought Sam Snead. Sam Snead really came into himself. And then I didn't want to put a record out with the West Coast at that time because I didn't know how it was going to work. I knew that this guy was a Blood, and I know these guys were Crips. So to be a smart guy, which I am, I was like, let me see how they work. And then and it went like I thought. They fell out and they had an issue. So I didn't want to get caught up. And if you listen, some of the music that they have on the internet that they displaying was records that we just put together just to put together. They weren't records that we expect to come out. We were like, just give them something here, because we didn't want to come out. We didn't want to come out in the midst of that. And then remember our sound and everything. It was like our sound was East Coast, so Dre's sound was different. He would play things live. Don't get me wrong, Dre sampled too, but most of that stuff he would play over things too. Like he would have a sample. I remember when we did Gin and Juice, we heard I Get Lifted sample in there, and then he built it off with musical stuff. Yeah. So his style was a little different than the rap. Like he was totally different than Premier and Eric Sherman, what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Totally different. So I wanted to sit on the fence and watch and see how he worked. And I got a chance to see a lot of things. I don't say nothing, outside of that because I ain't trying to give out no secrets, but it was educational and monumental to just to be around watching how they worked on that side and bringing Snoop Dogg to the forefront, Lady of Rage, RBX was also awesome, and Dog Pound too. I mean, just was, and my Nate Dogg was my boy though. I would have conversations with Nate Dogg. A lot of times me and Nate Dogg would sit down and talk, and Nate Dogg was going through something. He was making this.
You got muted somehow. There you go.
They couldn't have a situation through the music, and it kind of made him drink a lot, and and it just was bad because he was this guy who couldn't share his success with the family because they were too spiritual. They didn't want to, and it was really weird watching I learned so much in these scenarios. I learned so much.
Josh on Facebook wanted to know, did you ever get to record any music with Tupac?
No, but when I seen Tupac, when Tupac came out of jail, and I was the first one to see him when he came in, and he said, he looked up because I was taller than him. He said, "The fugitive," and I hugged him, and he went right to work. I wish I could have got a chance to talk to him more, but I didn't really have a chance to because, like I said, he was going to work, and then the Buckshot Shorty and them came through.
Oh yeah.
And then he had a little click. But here's my thing: most of these guys, when which I noticed later on because I didn't notice this right away, everybody was playing a role. Everybody had a role to play.
Yeah.
So, like, Pac didn't really know Buckshot Shorty and them. He knew them because Biggie had beat them up purposely 3 years, so he wanted to be close with them. See? Because Biggie had beat them up, went in the studio and beat Boot Camp Click up, the little ones. Strange.
OGC.
Had him under the table, yeah, and the dudes was like, apologize to Biggie. So Pac was being political, correct, like bringing them in to make a friend. So I knew he didn't really know them. So I knew all of this. But I wasn't saying nothing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? It was just, politics, man. And then Suge, he didn't really understand the music industry. He knew he was big and people freed him, but he didn't really understand. He didn't really understand, man. Because if he understood, he would have knew he couldn't get away with taking the record label from a guy who made it. He didn't understand that. That's what I mean about being experienced. Like, okay, so, like for instance, I want to use an example. So, like, if I was to run up, somebody ran up on me and they didn't know what they was doing, they got too close, I could pick them apart because they don't understand the key to a fight is distance. Even though I'm older now, I'm probably a little sluggish, I'm still going to do fairly well because I know this game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when another time I want to say this to you too. Like I remember one time when Mayweather had a standoff with T.I. and I said to and everybody was like, people are ignorant. Oh, T.I. would have did this. I said to myself,
no, he wouldn't.
No, I'm just saying this. But this is what I mean about people that don't know.
Right.
It would have been very, very bad.
Yeah, for real.
Imagine him with the gloves off. Right.
You saw what Mike Tyson did to the dude with the Jerry curl.
Mitch Green.
Man, he swole that dude eye up and stitched his forehead up, bro.
Right. And Mitch Green, I seen Mitch Green. And funny you say that. I was walking in Queens and I seen Mitch Green and I seen Mike Tyson did the damage to his mouth. He showed it to me.
Wow.
Mitch Green was driving in a gold Lincoln, 1982 or one of them years. It was gold though, with a boxing glove in the back. And he got out the car and showed me his mouth. And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But he didn't know I knew Mike Tyson already. He didn't know I was a boxer too. He thought I was a random person.
Not only did he beat him on the street, but he beat him in the ring too.
Well, yeah, because once you beat a person, here, it's a follow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's another say this to you too. I'm not saying that T.I. would have got killed.
Yeah, for real.
And there's street people still saying that, and this is what I'm talking about, ignorant people.
Right.
There's street people that actually thought he had a shot.
Yeah.
So you said something fascinating that I didn't know, and you got some big boot camp click heads in here. Did that beef between Biggie and OGC, did they smooth that out before Biggie's passing? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know Sean Price was like my cousin. Me and Sean Price are close.
Oh, really?
God bless Sean.
Wow.
Me and Sean Price were very close.
Wow.
Listen, me and Sean Price were so close. That when Sean used to come to my uncle's studio, my uncle started all of them out when they were little kids. My uncle was Uncle Dave. My mother was born in the house that the movie Crooklyn was filmed in. That's the house that they all would come to on 7 Arlington Street. Sean Price had an issue one time where he had a gun. I had to take the gun from him.
Wow.
These are like, you know what I'm saying? Like every time I see Sean Price, he would pick me up. I'd say, yo, put me down.
What's your funniest Sean Price story or experience you had with him?
We're in Rhode Island doing the show. He stops the show in the middle of the show and starts talking to me on stage. And I'm like, yo, man, finish the show. He stops the show. Listen, in the middle of the show, he stops the show and goes, yo, so, just turns around and starts talking. So I'm off to the side. And he didn't care what, I was like, oh man. Little Vic was there with me. It was me, Little Vic, Cannabis, and Sean Price.
Cannabis. Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, Cannabis works with us too.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's right. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, Cannabis works with us too. But you know, here's the thing with Cannabis, he's so smart sometimes, like he goes with I call him a special ops guy, because he don't, you know, he wants to do it when he wants to do it. You know, it's cool. Right. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, but my thing with Cannabis, reason why I got with him, not just because he was lyrical, I think that Cannabis got a bad shot.
Yeah.
I think that, I'm gonna tell you what. Redman got on TV and said, I know he didn't mean it like that. And I said, when Redman says that shit, it matters. Yeah. Redman's Redman's like me, we're messy. But Reggie said he didn't mean it. Reggie said he didn't even mean it. I don't know why Pop took it like that, right?
Yeah.
So I felt bad. I said, let me help him find a place for tomorrow, because you know what? He still, you know, he can still be, sometimes, if he goes off to the deep end, I could be like, nah, man, come this way, do this. Or I can make it to the point where, you know what I'm saying? Or I could try to clean it up. You know what I'm trying to say? Because remember what I said. If he said, this is what I'm saying. This is how I look at shit. I'm cocky too, but I ain't that cocky. Let me borrow the mic to feed my people. I mean, I ain't mad at you. If it's gonna feed your people. Right. I don't think he meant it in a sarcastic way.
No, he didn't. He was a fan of LL.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? So I don't like seeing black folks, no folks, not just black folks. I don't like you crushing the young guys. Yeah. Let these guys find a place tomorrow, so that, you know what I'm saying? They could be somebody too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, because remember, everybody has an opportunity until somebody steps on it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, it's hip hop. It is hip hop. But come on. This guy was trying to, you know, and he was on his way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
had I have been there, I would have tried to change the demographic, but I'd have been like, look, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, them are ugly gray areas in hip hop that are like, you know, that kind of make you cringe, you know, especially when somebody was trying to, you know, do their thing and just be a part of something. Yeah. I don't like when it goes left. It's not good, you know. It's you know, I'm not saying everything has to be positive. Like in my situation, I had an issue too. You know, I have issues too, but my thing, I don't know how to you can't address every issue. Right. Especially in the way today is with the internet and everything. Sometimes you can't address it. Sometimes you just gotta let it. I mean, I don't know, you know.
You know, I'm glad you're working with Cannabis because he's so ill. And Profound IO being from Chicago, you'll appreciate this. I think my favorite Cannabis song, or the song that he's featured on, was the joint with Common.
Yeah, one day at all. Yeah, he murdered that song.
Love that song. Yeah. All right, Facebook, we got the lyricist is asking if you know where in the world is Keith Murray.
I think Keith Murray's still in Long Island.
Okay. Do you keep up with Keith Murray?
Yeah, I don't hear from him that much, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm sure he's still doing his thing. I talked to Redman last week. Redman said he talked to him. So he's still, you know, Murray's still out there doing his, you know, trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. This is what I say hip hop is for. Hip hop is for guys like that. That if you don't figure it out today, maybe there's a tomorrow. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you get a second shot at redemption and everything too. Hip hop is that. It's a world within a world.
Speaking of that, you get a second shot in redemption. There's a few artists I wanted to ask you about what your relationship is with them now. EPMD, I know my man Freddie was asking about that. Y'all keep up with EPMD? What's your relationship with now?
Yeah. EPMD still, you know, EPMD, man. They're still a Grizzlies, man. They just hibernate. We don't see them that much, but you know, EPMD is back and ready to do their thing. That Nas album, that Nas record is out right now. You know, they doing their thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We gearing up. See, my thing was this is what I did, which was being you know, I'm a great strategist. I just didn't want to be on top of everybody.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I moved to the South, you know what I'm saying? Got my team out here. I didn't want to be fighting for 97. I don't want to be reaching over somebody, you know what I'm saying? I want everybody to have room so we can grow. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be on top of each other. You know, I don't see DOS effects neither. I don't see a lot of people, but it doesn't mean the respect and the love's not there. It's just that everybody's doing what they got to do for their scenario. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, there's been, at least from my view, like a resurgence in the hip hop world. There's just been a lot of dope music that I think has come out, and a lot of, you know, artists that, you know, maybe did their thing, you know, years ago, coming back and putting out, you know, quality albums and great music. Do you get a sense that there's kind of a shift in hip hop right now, a positive one, where there's a lot of really good music coming out?
Yeah, I think that these new guys, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I honestly feel. The new guys who don't know what hip hop is to us and what it was to us, they don't have a clue. They're just doing their thing, right? They call it mumble rapping now, or wave. I don't know. They call it whatever these young kids call it. But I noticed that they have a different approach. And you know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't killing nobody, it's all good. But here's the thing. Everybody can't take, everybody is not going to do the same thing we're doing.
Right.
I think it's boom bap, you know what I'm saying? And I got a young kid that I talked to the other day. He's from Mississippi. He had me laughing. He said he's from boom bap. I'm like, how? You're from Mississippi? And he said, I stand out. I said, but you're young. He said, but that's why I stand out. He said, I'm the Rakim of this area. And I was like, okay. I mean, so, you know, you're going to have those situations, right? You're going to have those situations. And that's nothing, that's a good thing. But, you know, because like I said, everybody's not going to sound or do it with that. I mean,
right.
You know, my kids do it and I'd be like, it's cool. I guess it's cool because the flow, I hear the flow, but you know, it's just a different time zone for me. You know what I'm saying? My thing, I can still beat on it. If I can't beat on the table and rap, it's not gonna happen for me.
Yeah.
I can't even, and listen, so I'm so prehistoric with it. I can't even, you could put a beat on and be playing a record and I can't, I have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how prehistoric mine is.
I'm with you too. I'm a dinosaur too. Cause that's what I was like, if it's not boom bap, I can't do it, bro. Like
all the equipment I give Profound, all them they ask me for stuff like last week. Profound came and got the control here. Like I could get without that because I could still make the music. I'm a drummer. I can beat on the table and it's roll. It's not an issue. Then I just apply it. So everybody has their own methods of doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is, you know, it's different, man. It's just totally different. But my thing is, why the team is so deep, I just want to make sure they all get along and they work together in unison, because the corporation's always saying, you guys can't do that every time you got, and I'll be like, well, we'll see. And I've been proving them wrong, because all the guys I picked, they can all swim without an issue.
So the lyricist who asked about Keith Murray also asked, let's hear his take on female MCs today. You have any thoughts on that?
I told he should listen to Panama Red. She's that.
What is it? Panama Red? So you said?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's from the Bronx. But you know, there's a lot of dope. Here's the thing I think though. I mean, I heard some girl rappers out here that hold their own. I heard some that can hold their own. You know, I did. But here's the thing. For them to have the sauce that she's got, you got to have that history down, boy. She's a librarian by day. So she's always in their books, and she knows her, you know, she can get in her bag real quick.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? To say she's a librarian by day. So it's not an issue to her. You know, my dad was a writer. He wrote books. So it's in my blood. I you know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that I know what I'm listening for. Like when I heard Biggie first time, I didn't have to invest in it. I knew what I heard first time. I knew when he used that imagery, a black exploitation, Sawada Smalls from the 1973 movie Uptown Saturday Night. I already knew what it was. I knew where it came from. In fact, I said Biggie Smalls on my album before he came out. I'm just saying, if you look at the video of Biggie Smalls on the street battling that little kid, they was playing K Solo 4 or 5 minutes before that.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. So when he heard Biggie Smalls, I also named Foxy Brown. Nobody knows that because when Foxy's manager came to my man Flair's house in Crown Heights, I told him, I said, you should name her Foxy Brown.
Oh, wow.
Her name was Inga. Her name wasn't Foxy before we saw the manager. Because I know, I'm gonna tell you why I know. Because I grew up in that era. My aunt used to date Philip Fenty. He wrote the screenplay for Superfly. My other aunt is Fresh Prince of the Bel-Air's mother in the picture. She's the lady that played Freddie Boom Boom Washington's girlfriend in Welcome Back, Carter. That's my aunt.
Oh, wow.
Vernie Watson, her father, Uncle Walter, helped raise me. I lived down the street from them. My mother stayed up the street. The uncles were down the street. So, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I had, access to all of that growing up very early, that black exploitation. When that thing was bubbling, it was in the house. And we saw it knowing that, it's going to come out. And then we saw it on TV, from the house to the TV. So I've been around that. So that's very familiar to my surroundings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That black exploitation is it's been ever since a kid. I've been around that. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, you gotta have, when I heard him do that, Christopher Wallace do that, I didn't have a question. I already knew what it was gonna do.
Yeah.
Now, but let me say this to you. This is what I'm saying, how Black America is so magic. See how it doesn't govern itself, but it always, the cream still rises to the top? What I mean by that is this. Tupac was the revolutionary in that black exploitation. He was the little kid with the red, black, and green, Black Panther, see? Now let's go deep. You see how LL dropped the album called Walking with the Panther, and then years down the road, I Shot You? See? Nobody put it together. LL dropped the album called Walking with the Panther. Tupac was a Black Panther. Years down the road, as they would get into this big who shot you thing. Nobody put it together. Because Black America doesn't govern itself. They don't watch and see. It's just everything is everywhere. And if it rises or falls, it's on the sake of the people. It's not governed by itself, though. Martin, listen to me. Muhammad Ali got on TV and said he didn't know who Cassius Marcellus Clay was. That's what he was named after. A great white Kentucky politician named Cassius Marcellus Clay. He got on TV and said, I don't know who he is. Which means he didn't do the research, he didn't read. Because how are you in Kentucky and you don't know who this guy is? It doesn't govern itself. Black America made hip hop and don't own it. They don't govern anything. Always remember when 1865, when slavery was over, they never fixed it. They just said it's abolished.
Right.
They never fixed the problem. And it's still to this day, gaps are wide open because of it. It's never been fixed. So I know this. I know what I'm dealing with when I deal with people. I know what I'm dealing with in the culture. That's why I knew when I went to Dre's, it wasn't government. I could have got killed. But as long as I didn't come out and wasn't on the radar, I was good.
Yeah.
See? And when I told my boy Sam, I said, yo, don't go to the meeting. He went, they beat him up. I knew. See what I'm saying? Because I have a different ability than most people. I pay attention to detail and I pay attention to history.
Yeah.
As long as I understand history, I know basically the landscape on how things are going to move.
Where do you think that came from in you?
I think that came from me being raised by Italians, and Italians always taught me how to watch. They always said if there's a crowd and there's a cop on a horse, make sure that the horse don't trample you, or make sure you don't get the people going and they trample you. They always taught me different things to be aware of that I wouldn't have been aware of on my own. The boxing family taught me that. and the Salvation Army too. The nuns taught me that too. The nuns taught me, they said, you could be too good to a situation of people that don't know you're gonna be good, and you could be a bad. I didn't understand that, but I understand now. I'm gonna give you an example. Martin Luther King was too good for the people and himself when he found out that the government was giving money away to the peasants in Europe that they needed. And then when they found out he knew that, then he got killed. See, Martin Luther King's wife was related to my father's mother. My father's mother's a Scot. She was from Alabama too. They're cousins.
Wow.
So I get it from different sides of the family, but what I mean is, what I'm saying is real to you. You know what I'm saying? In other words, hip hop don't govern itself. Russell Simmons, think about it. Russell Simmons didn't get the money till he had a white partner. He didn't get the money when he was by himself, or Run DMC would have signed to him. Let me tell you something. This is deep. I never said this on TV, but I'm gonna say this to y'all. There was a time with Mr. Magic, Andre Harrell, and Russell in the same apartment in the living room. They all had cot beds. The only time it changed when Leo Cohen got half a Def Jam from Russell, then he moved into the penthouse. So what I mean is this. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. As great as Russell Simmons is, as business entrepreneur, as great as he was, he still needed a white partner or a Jewish partner with the money, or the bank wasn't giving him the money. They never gave him the money. Because, and the thing that happened in 1865, a lot of people don't know this, it's never been fixed.
Yeah.
It just, in other words, they say, okay, it's abolished, we can't do it no more. But let's fix the damage it caused. They didn't.
Right.
You still got crazy people running around on both sides of the fence, because remember, you can't mate, like me, if I breed my dog and I breed a dog that bites, the puppy's gonna bite people too. So think about when the slave masters were breeding people together that didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
Also think about, I never called black women bitches neither, because that phrase was made for them in that cereal, in that area. You call a black woman a bitch, you got a problem, bro.
Yeah.
Like major, because you're calling her a female dog, and they say she's gonna have litters, and they sell the babies. That's what was a slave term for the black woman. So a lot of people don't know history.
Right.
So, you know, so they say they just shoot off at the mouth, not realizing where this shit's coming from. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I teach my kids. I tell my kids, like, you know, yo, you can't. One time, my son got on the record and was saying some crazy shit, and my mother heard it. These little young motherfuckers. And I told him, I said, yo, man, you better change that shit. Oh, she don't be on Facebook. You know, I had to have Redman, don't let him in cut him off for at least 2-3 weeks. He thinks it's a joke.
Wow.
To make him check himself. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand. These young ones don't get it. He understands. Now, she still got power over him because, you know, I call, one phone call from her, Redman's leaving him alone. You know what I'm saying?
The academy that you talked about earlier, that you're working with kids, is education and some of the things you're talking about. Is that part of the mission at the academy?
Well, that's what I do. I just tell them, you know, they work on the technical side. I work on the common sense street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep them, in other words, because I want them to understand fully what's going on, so they fully understand, you know, what's going on. If they do, then I have more of a success rate. I have more of a chance of success with them.
Right.
It's when a person doesn't understand, you know, like if a person doesn't understand, like I told my son one time, he got into a street fight with a guy that was a southpaw. I said, yo, man, you know, his head was red. I said, yo, he's southpaw. What are you doing? He knew immediately to turn the other way, and then he won the fight.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say. If, you know, you got to school these people so when something does happen, they can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't school them and they don't know no better, somebody schooled me. I knew, you know what I'm saying? You got to school them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
K Solo dropping a lot of knowledge on us right now. IO, Profound, anything resonating with you or any thoughts?
Yeah, man, all of it, man. I talk to K Solo quite frequently, man. So,
yeah,
man, it's just,
And just think about what I'm saying. When the girls are coming out and they're doing these new girls are coming out doing that little what's that twerking dance. They didn't know, but I'm saying to myself, if they knew, you know what I'm saying, if they knew their history, they wouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? If they'd read a book and just slow down, they wouldn't do that. But they don't know. Like these kids don't know. There's a whole generation that doesn't have a clue of where they came from or where they want to be at tomorrow. Some people just wake up with nothing on their brain at all. And that's why I'd be like, you know, I feel, you know, our generation was real smooth because like when I see Rakim at the in EPMD, me and EPMD did the MTV 30-year anniversary, and we seen Rakim and KRS-One and everybody. When I see all of these guys, we all from the same, you know what I'm saying? Everyone I'm talking about know what British Workers was, they all came from that. You know what I'm saying? And you can see, listen to the way they carry themselves. They all carry themselves like kings and queens. Like they don't carry themselves like no cheap, you know, imitation or something. They all carry themselves like, you know, you have to respect the way they carry themselves.
Absolutely.
Kane, all of them, Bismarck, all of them, the way they respect, they weren't no, you know, they weren't shabby people. These were people that you would respect.
Yeah. And they passed that down to us through their music.
Yes,
they passed that down to
and that's why I say, why I say guys like you, bro, that you know, you younger than us, but you know, you got, you know, it's a great scenario that you come from that cloth. You know what I'm saying? It's a great scenario because that's why we do what we do. So when we come around, people understand what it is, and that respect it grows. It grows and it grows. Because our parents gave us an opportunity to rock, and the people gave us an industry to take and do. Even though, you know, it would be nice if our culture owned it. It's okay. But you know, we own the respect. We own the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's how like I vouch. Like that's why that's part of my work too. Is like as far as like teaching these young people the history of hip hop. It's important. You know, some people be like, man, they don't care about the history. Yeah, that's what you think. But every time I have a conversation with young people about hip hop, they light up. They want to know the history. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they need to know K Solo. They need to know KRS-One. They need to know Rakim. They need to know who EPMD is. You know what I'm saying?
EPMD was serious, man. Like I said,
man, it wasn't no joke, bro.
Heavy D, God bless the dead.
Heavy D,
Pete Rock,
come on,
all
man.
of them dudes, man. All of them dudes put it. Like when Heavy D would go out there and do his show, man. Come on, man. I see Heavy D show, man. He come from that West Indian side too. Heavy D get on the stage, he was always dressed. He did a great show. He always had something fly coming out of his mouth, like solid people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Biggie Pac, did they think too, is just, let me say this to you. It got crazy when Tupac got shot, but here's the thing too. God bless Tupac, but I always say to myself, how did you get in this situation? I'll tell you how. You didn't respect that woman. Why would you have that woman in a hotel room with all those dudes in the room? What did you think was going to happen?
Right.
I love Tupac, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never in 100 years would have entertained a woman with some dudes, some street dudes in the room.
Right.
Certain things, see, this is what I'm saying, I get from my mother and my people. You know what I'm trying to tell you? This is why I'm still cool, because I learned from them.
Yeah.
They taught me how to walk down that street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And nothing against them, because I loved them. I just don't understand how you made that mistake. Why did you just tell them to leave? Why did you just tell them to leave? If they would not have been in the room, there would have been no problem.
Yeah.
Think about that. There would have been no problem if you'd have made them leave.
And as a king,
all right,
like,
see you guys later. Think about what. All right, man. See you guys later. Okay, man. See you guys later. Yeah. What was the harm in that?
Yeah.
See? And then you let them stay around. Next thing you know, they having sex with it too. Now we have an issue.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying, she didn't mind you, but now you got, now you have an issue. And now look, and then it went from that to they caught you in quiet studio to try to quiet you up, thinking you were going to say something.
Yeah, and as Tupac being like, you know, being raised as a Black Panther, that's like one of their tenets to protect women. You know what I mean? So you know that's one of the tenets.
And nobody tells me about these people. Nobody says that. They all say, "Oh, they don't ever tell you." They keep it real, like doing. I told him he's my man. You know what you doing in there with her? Send him home. You hear me? Send her home. This the shit I used to be on Redman about. Shit like that. Me and Redman was like I'm talking about. You couldn't. Me and him, we was like, goody good. We wasn't gonna mess this up for nothing. You hear me?
Yeah.
We were like, every time I seen him, I'd be looking at him for something to be out of line and say something.
Did you have a mentoring relationship with him?
Motherfucker, me and him was like that all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. To the point where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be like, yo, man, and don't bring them in here for this. And he was tired of hearing my mouth. Because you know I'm serious, because I got in so much trouble, and every time there's something happened, he got in trouble too.
Yeah.
Remember, we wasn't EPMD.
Right.
We were the next niggas coming in after them. We wasn't EPMD. So everything we did, we had to be like, yo, man, send them niggas home, man. Yo, man. The chain got missing. We went and found it. You hear me? Yo, Eric's chain came up missing. We got on the train and go find the nigga, and Redman took the nigga car too. I was like, yo, man. I came back with the chain, man, like this.
Wow.
You know what I'm trying to say? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is the kind of respect you have when you're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah. So we have several questions. We have a fun question from Jamie Bennett, but before that, the lyricist on Facebook asked, push the literacy initiative. I'm not sure exactly what she's talking about, but do you know what she's talking about there? Push the initiative, literacy initiative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, educate people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly what she's saying, because there's some dumb, there's some crazy fuckers out here, man.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what I be saying, and I'm not trying to be known to disrespectful shit. Going in, I knew. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that wasn't a question. She was just commenting to something you said. Yeah, push literacy. People.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see what you're saying, the lyricist. I appreciate that.
That because it breaks my heart when I talk to young people, and that's one of the first questions that I ask my students. Do you read?
Yeah.
And then a lot of them, like I would say 90% of them say they don't read. And I'd be like, why you don't read? Because I don't like reading. And that just break my heart. Like, you need to be reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
But you gotta remember too. But you gotta remember this too. And I'm saying this too. They bred the ones that didn't want to read too. So it's in there. You gotta get it out. In other words, you would get killed for reading.
Yeah.
In them days.
True indeed.
So if they found out you could read, they're gonna kill you.
Right.
So in other words, I'm not saying that's an excuse for them. I'm just saying.
No, I hear. Yeah, for sure. That's just for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we go into, Neville has some questions, but I thought Jamie Bennett has a great question, and this is always pops up in hip hop. He wants to know, who's your top 5 MCs?
Oh, that's a dope question.
No, that's easy for me. KRS-One, because KRS-One has got to be my number one. I'll tell you why. And I got the other 4 behind that. KRS-One to me, because the life he lived and everything he went through, and the way he educated himself, because he didn't go to college, he just read books and figured things out, and his flow pattern. I just like KRS, man. Even though I got this baby KRS-One. I just like KRS. You know, my first pick, and then my second pick would be Rakim.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that with him is because he did it his way, in the style that he did. Even though Salam was his partner, a lot of people don't know this. He was in a group called Love Brothers back when before it was on record. And I was in jail with Salam a couple of times. I seen him, and Salam was cool, but he nothing like Ra. See, Ra was the real deal. Like, as far as the way he carried his vocal tone, and he had a style that was just his, and he made famous with that, and he gets that for that. And then I gotta say, Kane too, because Kane was a monster. Kane was a monster, man. He still just, he just had that.
Yeah.
And the way he did his thing, he was like James Brown and what's that guy's name? There's a dark-skinned singer that Kane used to always resemble. Well, anyway, Kane is the 3rd, and then let me see, 4th is 4. It's hard to say 4. Nah, I guess fourth, I would say, my fourth, I would say Redman.
Wow.
Because I gotta give it to my little brother, because that much he never tries to be, he's just a good writer. He gets it out. He gets it on pen and paper. He's not the greatest rapper in the world to me though. But he's dope enough, and his attitude gives him that. He don't care.
Yeah.
He just don't care.
Yeah, for real.
And I like that about him. He don't care.
Right.
So he's my fourth, and my fifth with Method Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cause Meth got that, just the way I like the way Meth delivers his tone. He's not too aggressive, and he's tall. He's just all over. He's just all over.
Yeah. That's dope. That's a dope top 5 right there. Dope top 5.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So we have lurking in the background. We have Neville. He's been in here the whole time. If you're watching the live feed, you don't see him, but Neville is here, and he has some questions for you. So Neville, you want to jump in and ask your question?
Yes, sir, Redman.
There you go.
Redman, here I go now.
K-Solo.
K-Solo. I'm hearing so much about Redman. I'm like, hello, Reggie. Sorry, Redman. And you do remind me of the brother. I'm sorry about that, man. It's late.
You're good, man.
That's all good, Neville.
All right. So I had a couple questions, man. I'm gonna try to shoot them off quick, and hopefully I don't want to keep you too long. First question was,
it's all good.
Please tell me. You can answer them in any order. I'm just gonna throw them out there, and then you answer it how you want to. First question is, what was the session like recording Headbanger? That's number one, because that's a crazy cut, and I just want to kind of know the backstory of how that all came together. Number two, do you want me to ask them little by little, or just ask you and then you just go freestyle? Number two, I'll kind of on your debut album, I want to know what's your personal favorite song. Then number three, which was like your favorite video that you shot, because that might be different than the album cuts. And then number four, no, this is a lot. Number four, because Special Ed was on here, and I kind of just saw how he conducted himself. And I remember how young he hit stardom at 16. You come out the gate and 3 singles banging, you know what I'm saying? Forward, like you come out the gate and it's flowing. So I'm just wondering, how did you deal with that fame, notoriety, and everything out the gate and kind of like maintain? I don't know. I know that's a lot, but those are my questions, man.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want to go.
Okay, the Headbanger session when we did it at Rock and Reels, it was a beat that was for Cube. And Eric put it in the Rolling 30. Yeah, it was for Ice Cube. And I gave Eric my machine because I had bought a Rolling 30 and I didn't know how to work it. So I just gave it to Eric. So Eric comes in with the Rolling 30, he plugs it up and he says, I got this beat for Ice Cube. And then he plays it. We listen to it. We like. So, you know how it goes. And then their verses, I think Eric and Paris verse, they started doing their verse right there. And Paris was going to make 2 records. He's making one with DOS Effects and one with us. That was his idea. Because he didn't know, like, I don't know if he knew what he was doing, or just freestyling. He was like, well, we're going to do a record with DOS, which they already did it. It's called Humming Coming At Ya, with the hook from Cypress Hill. And then they did this Headbanger thing. And it was the beat for Ice Cube that Eric was going to give Ice Cube. So I remember me and Redman finished our vocals. And I think Redman had 4 more bars than me too. And but he was at the end, so it didn't even matter. And we didn't even listen to it again until like 4 days after. And then we heard it and it hit us. We was like, yo, really kind of hot. And then I think Jam Master Jay was in the studio with us that day.
Wow.
And Jam Master Jay heard it and was like, he knew, he was like, yo, y'all gonna win with that. And we didn't know to what level, because Jay used to come to Rock and Reel with us, because him and Scratch, that was his protege. Jay brought Scratch to EPMD. So that's why Scratch always puts his name, like EPMDs with the hyphens in it, because he was Run DMC's, he was Jam Master Jay's little DJ. You know, in fact, that was the only guy Jam Master Jay with Cuff. D was Scratch. Everybody else, he didn't. I don't know. I didn't see nobody else around him like Scratch. Scratch had that. And then the other one was the other answer was when the money hit, it was hard for me to adjust because I really came from basically nothing. I was living in a boxing gym with Ralph. We was living in a boxing gym, and I had to readjust my whole life to live with money now. Because, you know, it sounds so crazy.
And fame.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but can you imagine everywhere you go, people know you? It was like crazy. And then you had to deal with all kind of shit too. Like I remember I got into an issue because I'm used to, you know, street guy. Oh yeah, you say something, handle my business. No, these guys came and shot the house up. You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm famous now. So before I could get away with it, now I'm not getting away with this shit. My name is too big. So yeah, it was getting crazy, and it was getting crazy quick. That's why I'm saying I don't know if Eric Sherman's house got shot up because of that incident neither. I don't know. I just know that we had a whole bunch of dudes from Queens and Brooklyn following us. One time me and Paris was in this club, and we was in the place where we used to drink, a pub we used to go drink called Chicago's in Brentwood. And the gunman was up in there. Paris seen him. I didn't see him. Paris had peeped him. He was like, come on, man, let's go. They outside. And we definitely hit. He got in his car, I got in my car, and we slid there. They was following us. So if he didn't see them, we got ambushed. And we ain't had no Roscoe, and we had no guns on us or nothing. So we got back to the crib, and when Paris got back, I made my run, and they followed me, and Paris got back to the house. And when I circled back around the house, Paris had the shotgun outside. And then when I got in the car, they took off because they seen he had the gun.
Wow.
But couple of times we've been in situations like that. And it's always been me and Paris. One time it was me, Paris, and Eric when we went against MC Hammer in Oakland, California, and that got crazy. But yeah, we always was in some shit like that. It was like, because remember, you had money. Now you got a little bit of money, and you're still not far from your hood.
Right.
But one thing I want to say about P, would always go to Rakim's house, and we would always watch Rakim cleaning his car, but I never got a chance to talk to him because Rakim and Paris are around the same age. And Ra was just a very quiet dude, man. But him and Eric and Paris are the same age. They're the same age. Like, so we would sit there with him, but I never could ask him no questions because what am I gonna ask him? I'm looking at Rakim, you know what I'm saying? He would clean the Benz and we all be outside with him. And this is how gangster Paris was. He had an IROC, and he would just come out the car and they would just kick it. Ra always had a respect for Paris, though. He had issues with Eric in later part, they fixed it. But Paris would always go to Rakim's crib and just sit around, and Paris would be around him. We did a lot of moving. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rakim, man. That's my man. You know, and the whole squad, man. Like, we had a lot of great times in Wine Dance, man. Shout out to Alvin Tony too. Alvin Tony is a real, you know, strong force in Wine Dance. We was out there with him. That's where we shot Redman's first video in Wine Dance. Well, we did his coming to the rap game video in Wine Dance. But yeah, man, a lot of yeah, hardcore, exactly. That was done in there. So yeah, we did a lot of stuff out there because back in my days, Wine Dance and CI really didn't get along. So my guys would be fighting all Rakim's friends. But I was very young. We didn't know each other then. You know what I'm saying? Age group wise. You know?
I was going to ask, what was the, sorry, Till, go.
I was just saying, before we head to Neville's next question, I did want to comment on something because I think a lot of people would probably be very surprised to learn about this. You said that there was a confrontation with Hammer, and one person even said, "You mean MC Hammer, Too Legit Hammer?"
But he was Hammer. But see, you know, like, so what happened was he didn't want that dances. He didn't want EPMD's dancers dancing on the speakers or something to that degree. And Fendi and Bernard went up there anyway and did it. So when they got off the stage, MC Hammer's dances was popping off at EPMD's dances, and Paris just hit him. Bow. And when Paris hit him, all hell broke loose.
Wow.
And I'm on the stage doing my part, and I'm holding my part, and I'm not on yet, but Nick Like Patty Wax out, and I'm doing my part, and I look, and I actually see my dudes getting into it, and I get in the melee, which is the wrong thing I should have did. I should have just kept rapping, and I jumped off the stage and went right into it. Yeah, I came right into a right hand, but the dude hit me, and it didn't hurt. I just looked at him.
So you were in the middle of your set. You saw the commotion. Did you just drop the mic and just like, yo, I gotta, or did you say anything?
Which was the worst thing to do. I should have never did. Because when I did that, it just made everything just escalated.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But from where I'm from, I don't know no better. Remember, I'm still new.
Yeah.
I'm from, from where I'm from, it's do or die. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know if we was gonna get home or whatever. And the last thing I was gonna do is let these guys get hurt. They're young, I'm not gonna let that happen to these guys. So, but whatever. And then Alvin picks me up and brings me on the tour bus, and then we all got out of it. But it was crazy. But let me just say this to you. MC Hammer, it wasn't his fault. It was just Hammer was one. And let me say, I respect this guy, not just because he's MC Hammer. I respect what he tried, what he did, when he got it. Yeah. He took half the neighborhood with him, and when you see people that do that, it's a different level of respect.
Yeah.
He had everybody working, and they all worked, and they all rehearsed every day, and they were, Hammer was a solid guy, man. Come from a solid family. So shout out to the Burrell family, you know what I'm saying? And it was unfortunate, but like I said, we all lived and learned, and we can laugh and talk about it. But it was crazy back then. Everybody trying to find their way into tomorrow.
Well, on that note, we'll jump around with Neville's questions, because his last question was about how you dealt with the fame and the success out the gate. You were younger. You hadn't learned some things, you hadn't matured in some ways. So how did you handle all that success and that fame, right out the gate? Well,
like I said, it was weird because you got your ties. See, it's like I said, you got those ties with the neighborhood, and you got something now. It's like, it's hard, and that's why we're involved with the brand gang and the safe house, because they're young, and they're gonna run into these scenarios, and now we're experiencing dealing with it. So hands on, it's just like, and I dealt with it. My pain in it was learning from the mistakes. Messing with a girl, and you think and she's coming back. She knows the house now. She's not gonna, I didn't know. And you live and learn.
Yeah.
You really. But Reggie, believe it or not, I was making those mistakes. Reggie didn't make those mistakes. Reggie was solid. Like I'm gonna tell you this, guys, and I'm not being funny. I used to be talking to him till I'm blue in the face, and I didn't think he was listening. This guy was listening to everything I said.
Wow.
Like listening to me for real. And I'm like, don't do this, and don't bring this one over here, and don't do that. And I mean it. And he was listening to everything I said. Because when I look back, like today, and I look at him and I see his scenario and his babies and the way he moved, he listened.
Yeah.
He didn't. He did. He really did. I mean, he gets into some shit every now and then. Sometimes he gets into some little street stuff too. Not a lot though, because he's very busy. He stays working.
Right.
So he didn't get caught up like I got caught up. I got caught up because I had those friends still in the hood.
Yeah.
Reggie just left Reggie always stayed to himself. He didn't have a lot of friends. He stayed, just him and his sister. He didn't really have a whole bunch of do it all in London. Lords of the Underground lived behind the house. If it wasn't with them, he didn't really, he didn't have a whole bunch of like me. I had a lot of friends, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people I knew, man, and they, you try to help them, and then, hard lesson.
So going back to Neville's second question, what was your favorite song on your debut album? And did it change over time? Was there a song that you liked back then, but now you like a different song?
Moms of My Business and Spellbound and Fugitive, there was my threes. Remember the ones with my singles. Let me tell you why. Moms of My Business, I really went through it. And then when I got with Snoop and them, Snoop did the same video in Gin and the Juice as Moms in My Business. If you notice, Snoop did the movie theater. I did the movie theater. It was a drive-in movie theater. And only his was more upgrass because he had more money. So it was the same, like they were paying homage. And I didn't even realize until when I got out of there and looked at it, and I was like, damn, that's the same video that one is. No, Moms in My Business and Gin and Juice, if you just look at the videos and turn the sounds off, they mirror images of each other. One's 3 years later and the other one is in its infant stages. But yeah, it's like I was the prototype to some degree on that level. Yeah. I don't know. And then the other one was that was my what's the other question?
The other question was, what was your favorite video? Your favorite video shoot. What was your favorite video shoot?
Headbanger. And then
it looked like y'all was having fun in that boy.
Yeah, but the one with Redman was that too. The one, the Big Brother record that I did with Redman was cool too because I didn't know what he was gonna do. And he pulls up in the car and he goes, I got your Timbs, I got everything, let's shoot the video. And I'm like, what? Yo, that's gonna be the video, the record we did. I looked at him like he was crazy. And sure enough, we shot it in the church in Manhattan and it took off too. That was a good record for us too.
Yeah, dope song.
Yeah,
man.
Dope song.
You know what? Speaking of videos, K Solo, why don't you tell everybody where you shot those videos? I don't
Chicago.
think IO know.
Yeah, I shot a lot of them in Chicago. I shot Fugitive in Chicago, and I shot Spellbound in Chicago too at the high school. But Joliet Prison was where I did Fugitive, and Redman did he did Whatever Man in Joliet Prison too.
So speaking of the Headbound video, Jamie Bennett was wondering about the beef. Was there beef going on during that video shoot? Something about E-Double?
Tension was high.
Yeah.
Tension was high, but you know, these guys are real professional. They get in, they get what they've done. And it got done, but the tension was high in that era. Yeah, the tension was high. You could cut it with a knife in that video.
Wow.
But you know what, another thing too? I guess that was the secret sauce because look, it was the top 3 posse cut in the world. I don't know if it has something to do with it. That's a hot that headbang is hard, bro.
Hey, speaking of Headbanger, let's just give people a little taste.
Yeah.
Of Headbanger because they may not know what we're talking about. Ah, yes. Well, it was so dope there. Yes. All right, I don't want to get sued by the Facebook police. So pause that. But yeah, that
y'all all blacked out on that one, man. Yeah. Everybody blacked out on that. Oh my God, dude.
That's a man, classic for sure.
Yeah, them are those records. But you know, like I said, everybody did their thing, man, and it was like. But you know what's funny though? Dos Effects had their run too, and they wasn't even on that record.
Right.
Dos Effects came out with that shit. I mean, I was at the tunnel, and the rafters was ready to come down at the tunnel when Dos Effects came out. That shit came out, boom, boom, boom. Me and Paz looked at each other. Then they wow, that shit was like the rafters ready to come down. So everybody had they thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it a thing with you and what's his name? From and y'all know who I'm talking about. He was an actor. He was in that movie with I can't even think. Don't get old, y'all. Stay young. I feel like a senior citizen right now, man. But it was around Spellbound. Like it was a controversy between you. They said he wrote Spellbound.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like can you speak on that?
Yeah, because I mean, what happened was when my grandmother told me it's my fault. I should have never went to jail. I got locked up, and DMX was in jail too.
DMX, that's right.
And yeah, he was in jail too, and he was a minor. And everybody was like, oh, we got this guy, and they had me, and we went to the yard. I was in the box, and he said, and we rhymed against each other, and I wrapped him up with it. I mean, I used Spellbound at the end, and he lost, and everybody laughed, and I didn't. But you know what's bad about this? And I'm gonna say this to you too. I didn't take it like it was a battle. I was just rhyming,
Right.
and I think what happened with that was guys on my side knew I was a fighter, and they were like instigating a fight with him. Like, yeah, he'll beat your ass too. And I think that's what happened. And then he took it when he got home, he started telling people that he wrote it.
Wow.
And then he wrote a version of it, which is not, I ain't tripping. And then it just got crazy because even with my guys, when you seen all of these people on motorcycles, right? And it wasn't really their team. It was just people that had that bike. And the perception that made it made them blow, It's like I was telling you about. You got all of these guys on motorcycles doing tricks. They looking like the biggest bike gang in the world. And this guy's rapping with that voice. They went for it, And technically, he came out with an album first called Born Loser. There was no dog. I had a dog in the first photo shoot. It was a dog that I had named Weapon that I got from Parrish. And Tom J. They gave me this pit bull. So I was the pit bull guy. I had the first pit bull in the game. I wore Carhartt. And he took all of that and ran with it. And started, which is, I ain't mad, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to know the truth, that's the truth. He didn't have none of that in the beginning. And then, not governing it again, hip hop not governing itself again, he got away with it because what happened was, which I really didn't understand it at the time. Now I don't care. I'm past it now because, he's not, to me, I saw him, I was hanging with Flo Rida in Florida. He didn't know I had moved out to Florida. And he was in the club with 3 guys. And if I wanted to, I could have penciled them in. But I said, you know what? It's hip hop. Leave it alone. I was the better guy. I said, just leave it alone. And then when you hear Spellbound, like he tries to say his version is so good, right? I'm not mad. You teaching kids how to read, I think it's great. But it's the only positive thing we can say about your music. You did a rhyme like that. It's great. I mean, I'm not mad. But he was more of a dark rapper. Like, I stuck my dick in a corpse and I got blood on my dick. He was that guy.
Right.
I wasn't the guy. Yeah, my mother would kill me if I said some shit like that.
Yeah.
People are a little.
That kind of.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't have that kind of luck with my. I couldn't say that kind of music. I had to make records like Mom's in My Business, Spellbound to even coexist in my life. Because my mother, she was West Indian. She wasn't. You couldn't sing that type of shit. Right. And if she knew I sung it, I had an Italian godfather who was a trained boxer. And then my Uncle Frank and my Uncle Walter, Verni's fought. I would have had problems, man. I couldn't do that. Like, seriously. So, and then but I'm going to say this, I'm going to give Paris a shout out with this too. Paris told me, never even play into that. I got on the video. I figured, let's experiment. This guy's lying. I should have left that shit alone, like he said. That shit got wrapped me up too, because when you're dealing with an asshole, you're going to get wrapped up anyway. Negative shit. I'm not, and my grandma told me, she said, well, that's what you get. You shouldn't have been in jail anyway. She's right. I shouldn't have hit that boy. To be around those type of people that do this type of shit, I shouldn't even been there. Because I'm not from that. I was from this. I was doing fine. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking 1 second, 1 split second mistake. I'm in jail with these kind of people.
Yeah.
This is what happens. And then the world, let me show you how gangster is. They believe the crackhead. They believe the motherfucker that was smoking crack. Or I don't even know if they believed it. I don't even give a fuck if they did or didn't. The bottom line, I shouldn't have been in the room with them. One mistake. I'm in the room with this. But let me say something. He was a little guy like Tupac. He was little. He wouldn't have been able to do nothing. I'm a bona fide, I do this for real. there would have been no way he could have ever handled. Listen, no way. The bike shit, all that shit that they talking, it would have been a problem, bro. Because I do that shit for real. You know what I'm saying? My little brother's 13 title, never lost a fight in a pro. It would have been bad, bro. Then he's telling people, oh, he was in protective custody. How can you be in protective custody and you're in jail with these? Think about it. I went to jail for this. How can I be in protective custody? That's great. So I laughed. I laughed at the shit. But one night, Redman and Method Man was at the Apollo, and I made them tap him on the shoulder. He was running around the parking lot. So I just wanted to show him, you could say, because he's invited me to his private, oh, yeah. And then when I ran up on him, he was trying to go get his friend. Ask Redman. You can ask Reggie and Meth that. Print it. He was running around the park. He don't, because hand to hand, I would have killed him. It would have been I might have grabbed him. He's little. I would have choked him out. It wouldn't have been he wouldn't have been able to do nothing with me. Like nothing. I do that. Jail record like this, all assault. He wouldn't have been able to do nothing with me.
Do you have a relationship? Do you have a relationship with him now?
I mean, listen, I don't have no relationship with him because I never knew him anyway.
Okay.
It's just it was something that he got on. He wanted to get in, and this was his in. But I just, my whole thing is this. I was just like, yo, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things I did wrong. Going to jail was one of them. You know what I'm saying? Because, and maybe I should have just entertained. So I didn't even, because if I wouldn't have said nothing, they wouldn't have had nothing to say neither.
Right.
In other words, sometimes you got to shut the fuck up. I didn't know. I'm in there rhyming and shit. I didn't know I was going to be famous.
Yeah.
He used it for that. And I'm not mad. You got on. But hand to hand, you don't stand a chance, bro.
Yeah.
You would have got killed in there. First 3-4 punches, remember, you're smoking B-Rock. How are you going to get away from this?
Right.
Like, for real. One blow to the body in the solar plexus, you'd have been in trouble. Like, I'm just saying, hand to hand?
Yeah, it's like the real dudes, they don't have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like De La is a good example. You know what I mean? Like De La was known for getting kicked off of tours because people thought they were soft.
Yeah, David,
you know what I'm saying?
David used to lay him out too. But I'm just saying this. But let me just say this. I'm just saying this. I'm not saying like, most of these guys that we talk, they throw arm punches. I'm talking about a guy that was really doing that shit, like gonna be a professional at this shit.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
Yeah,
it's not
different.
And it's not only that. Let me explain something to you. Ralph, my best friend, got into a fight with a guy who had a switchblade on him. The guy had a 007 at that club to Taste the Honey. He tried to cut him. He beat him so bad with his hands, they gave him probation, 7 years of probation. That's all. He almost killed him still.
Wow.
So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not making myself to be something I'm not, because I don't want my kids to be, I go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Hand in hand, bro. With Solo? I'm just telling you what it was, man. I'm just being real with you. It would have been bad, bro. Let me tell you, my godfather told me that some dudes tried to roll on Jack Dempsey when he was 75 years old. The old
still gave him that work.
He still gave him the bit. Yo, at 75 years old, he still threw.
Wow.
It was still a rap, bro. 2 guys tried to roll him.
Wow.
2. Not 1, 2, and he still laid him under the car, bro.
Jack Dempsey, boy.
I'm just saying, because if you knowing how to, and you this guy, and you doing this your whole life with a civilian, it's gonna be bad, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. And I'm not trying to say nothing, nothing against him. He was smart to go get around the big dudes and all that, but they could have got hit in the mouth too. Just because you around them type don't mean nothing. This, you can't train this. You can't train this, man. I don't care who you can't train this. The wrong dude you do that to, boom bap, you gotta eat it. Then you coming back with the gun, it's too late. I'm serious, man. I'm not being funny. That's what I'm saying. Me, I made a mistake. I shouldn't even been rapping. They wrapped me up with it because they got over, no problem. But hand to hand, it would have been bad.
K Solo and IO, Profound, Neville,
Yep.
everyone tuning in on Facebook. Is there anything that we have not touched on tonight, K Solo, and those viewing that you want to?
The truth too. And I'm telling the truth. Redman's first single was "Time for Some Action." We was in the gym every day. Time for some action, dude. That's what I would have came out to.
That's one of my favorite beat drops right there.
Yeah, for real.
That beat drops.
Time for some action.
And that bass line.
Yeah, for real.
The drums. That's an excellent song.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he knew, and he made it the first album came out. That shit was the first dance what we had to hear. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. He was a smart guy. He went, right. In this court, you know what I'm saying?
Like the Funk Body Snatcher.
Come on, man.
That joint.
And yo, I want to shout out them niggas too. Method Man running around here looking like a superhero, man. Method Man's looking like a superhero. I got to get back in the gym. They making me. These guys, yo, I got to get back in there and start.
Yeah, they do look fit.
They do. They
really do. Redman doing pull-ups like this. He with the weight on him.
Yeah.
Weight on him, yo.
Dope.
Wow.
I'm saying, man, I get in some shit. I'm good around them. I can handle mine. Just they ain't gonna let nothing jump. It's all good.
Okay, so look, can you let us know when that battle is coming? The Method Man and Redman battle?
Yeah, April 20th.
April 20th. 420.
Staten Island, live in Staten Island. We in the house.
Yes.
And we will. You know what? And we're gonna be doing headbanger. And you know how we do. Come check us out. We're gonna be in there.
I know they're gonna play headbanger.
Oh, EPMD coming through.
Yeah, EPMD's coming through. The Grizzlies will be in the house.
Dope,
and like I said, man, we did something everybody wanted to mimic, and you know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and I want to give a shout out to K Solo for wearing Carhartt in the Fugitive video, the first rapper to ever do it. And I also want to give a shout out to the Hit Squad for bringing the Timberlands and the Champion hoodies to hip hop, because I am comfortable in that shit.
No doubt.
Got to give it props to where it came from.
Yeah.
Speaking
Carhartt and all that shit.
Speaking of shout outs, we're going to jump into our shout outs here in just a moment. We always end the show with shout outs. We'll give you the last shout outs, K Solo. But before that, there was one last question that came in, and I'm really interested to know. This was from, let's see, who was this from? I didn't put the name down, but is there anyone out today, other than the crew that you're working with, are there any artists out today that you're really feeling, that are really resonating with you?
Checking Rob Level out. Listen out for Rob Level. Sinatra's coming. Little Vic's coming. Young Wolf and the Brand Gang is coming. I'm feeling a lot of them dudes, man. I'm feeling my man, George Young too. I'm feeling a lot of these dope rap. There's some dope dudes out there, man. That's doing their thing, man. I want to shout out, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man. Right now I'm really looking forward to the Sinatra album and Profound's album.
Yeah.
Killer Ben. I'm looking out for that. DJ Scratch and DJ Scratch and Planet Asia. They dropping.
Snap.
What?
Yeah, they dropping.
DJ, like the DJ Scratch that you're talking about?
Yeah. They got an album that's coming out. Planet Asia is like my cousin. We've been around each other for a long time. In fact,
Man,
Killer Ben looks like Profound's twin, and he's in the Do-Rag Dynasty, but he's over here with us too.
Wow, I love Planet Asia.
We gotta get Planet Asia on the show.
Yeah,
that's my man. That's like my cousin. And who else? And Cassidy and Cannabis. I'm trying to put that together because I talked to Cassidy. We just looking for a home for it. And then what else? And yeah, Panama Red, man. We doing the same stuff we doing, man. Spartan Academy to the end, to the casket drop, and the Brand Gang, and the Safe House is coming. Shout out to Chris LaShawn. A lot of hot records he about to drop. He out of Chicago. He's fire. It's my godson. He on fire. And like I said, man, I want to shout out to my platforms, iPictorial. That's where we streaming, doing all our streaming over there. Shout out to Flip the Barber. Shout out to Born Son. You know what I mean? We coming through, man. Shout out to my team, the squad, the squadron, and You know, I hope Reggie pull it off. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no
it's gonna
doubt.
be it's interesting, man, because they're very evenly matched, them two.
Yeah, they are. That's gonna be fun. It doesn't matter who wins, loses, whatever. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Because they bring a lot of energy too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yo, we're gonna circle back around to you, K Solo, give you the last word. But we do want to give a few shout outs. Profound, who you want to shout out tonight?
Man, shout out to the big homie K Solo, Spartan Academy, the Boom Bap Chat, Neville IO, and Till, and man, everybody that's checking us out, you know what I'm saying, back home, Chicago, Bolingbrook, Evanston. Y'all know how we do it.
Word up. IO, who you want to shout out tonight?
Man, gotta give a special shout out to my brother K Solo.
Yes.
Man, this was the dope interview. Thank you for giving us your time, sharing your time with us, man. We really appreciate it. Want to just shout out, the Boom Bap Chat family, Till, Profound, Neville, Joe, even though Joe couldn't make it today.
Yep.
So love to him, Big Joe. Shout out to Crib, Chicago, Southside all day, my people in Detroit, and people in the TO where I'm at right now. So yeah, man, that's it.
Wow.
Right on.
Yeah.
Neville, you got some shout outs for us?
Yes, sir. Just shout out to everybody, man, out there. Stay healthy. Watch yourself out in these streets. Be safe. And to the mighty K Solo, for those out there that don't know, please listen to the album, Tell the World My Name. One of the first house parties I ever went to. Your mom's in my business. Played one of my first dances. Not trying to age you, K Solo.
No doubt.
KSOLO.
No doubt, man.
Yeah. So that was it. And Fugitive was one of the first videos that I think I saw of you. Then I saw Spellbound later, and I was like, yo, these guys, that sample everything. And so that album means a lot to me. And then I got the remastered, re-released, whatever it was that came out. I got that version too. So go cop that, do your homework, do the knowledge on him. And they're not related, but they are related. Him and Redman. Yeah, and that's it. Yo, Clubhouse, Boom Bap Chat Room, please check us out Tuesday, 10 p.m. We got a battle coming up. Till we'll tell you the rest.
Yeah, on that note, shout out to everyone dropping by on the Clubhouse on our Boom Bap Chat. This Tuesday at 10 p.m., it's a battle. I'm playing nothing but Sky Zoo songs. Neville's playing nothing but Blue and Exile songs. We're going back and forth 20 rounds. We're gonna have a great time. So come in there while we celebrate two of the illest MCs of the past decade. So come check that out.
That's dope.
Yo, want to give a big shout out to everyone that's been tuning in tonight. Jamie Bennett, my man Derek in Dayton, L Hill, what's up, Josh? A lot of people tuned in tonight. Really appreciate it. The lyricist was in there asking great questions. My man Chris. So thanks everyone for listening. And next Thursday, I want to give a big shout out to Breeze Brewing from the Juggernauts. He's going to be our guest. I can't wait. I love Breeze Brewing, one of the illest MCs ever. And so I can't wait to pick his brain and talk to him. And last but not least, before we throw it over to K Solo to do his shout outs and take us out of here, I just want to say, just thank you so much, K Solo, for, spending time with us. And I appreciate all the gems you dropped. I appreciate the learning that has happened in your life, the things, the way that you, took life in and grew, became better over the years. Like that, that's dope. More than just making dope music, just being a dope person. So I salute you on that. Just really, really appreciate you being here. And I'll let you give your shout out, say whatever you need to say, and then we'll jump off. So take it away, K Solo.
Okay, I want to give a shout out. I'm gonna give a shout out to PMD, Eric Sherman, Reggie Noble, Das, Keith Murray, the whole Spartan Academy, Ben Buford, Sam Sneed, DJ Scratch, Green Lantern, Rob Stone, Michael Capuccio, rest in peace, Louis Sapita, rest in peace. And I want to give a shout out to Jason Assel, Travis Dempsey, and Nikki Fingers, and the whole Boom Bap Chat, and the Brand Gang, and the Safe House. Peace.
No doubt. Peace.
Yeah. And on that note, you already said it. We say Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, thanks for being here, bro.